Welcome to FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast series. Here we talk about all things franchising. What is it all about? Is it for you? How do you find the best one to own? And so much more. Now your host, Tim Parmeter.
Hello, everyone, and thanks again for tuning in to the latest edition of FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast. I am Tim Parmeter, founder and CEO of FranCoach, and your Franchising 101 host. Today, we are joined by one of our franchise partners, and they're going to talk to us about a truly exciting and innovative for a brand in a very up-and-coming niche of seriously like a multi-billion-dollar health and wellness industry. So excited to chat with them. Before we get to them, of course, let's quick little plug and reminder of who we are. And FranCoach is a national search firm dedicated to working with individuals interested in owning a franchise. We are partnered with well over 600 of the top franchisors in the country, spanning nearly 70 industries. Our goal is to help our clients find the absolute best franchise for them to own, which may be the one we're talking to today. And our goal of the Franchising 101 series is to help educate people on all aspects of franchise ownership. All right, so that's us. Now let's get to the good stuff. And joining us today is Miss Candace Byrnes. And Candace is the Chief Development Officer for our featured franchise, which is the DRIPBaR. Candace, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
And had I been any good at preparation, I would have double checked. Did I say your last name correctly?
You certainly did. You did a good job.
It's
right. Byrnes, but spelled the Irish way.
Gotcha. Awesome. So we got that figured out. So that's awesome. So greatly appreciate you coming on today to talk to us. And I am really, really intrigued to learn more about the DRIPBaR. And got, I don't know, 1,000,001 questions for you. So buckle up. But first, we don't care about the DRIPBaR nearly as much as we care about you. So Candace, give us a little scoop on you and kind of how you even got into this this crazy thing that is called the world of franchising.
Well, thank you for asking. So it was really sort of by accident, I guess, or by serendipity, which is actually the term I like to use because I truly believe in it. But I started with Planet Fitness, a small franchise that you might have heard of. Back when we had 4 locations in New Hampshire, and I actually worked at the front desk of one of our locations as I was starting college and going through college. I was actually a member, and I loved it. I loved it myself because I've always been enthusiastic about health and wellness and fitness. And then as I started with the company, I loved that I saw us changing people's lives, even in this micro, where we had 4 locations in New Hampshire. Like I said, I saw the members coming up to us at the front desk and telling us they were, that they were so happy we existed because they could never afford a gym before or didn't feel comfortable going into one. And well, then fast forward, I graduated from college, and a year later, I came up to the corporate office, and then we started franchising. And so I had really cut my teeth in franchising there, learning from, working alongside, I should say, our legal team to help create our documents. So I sort of had this paralegal role for one point of time, and then was working alongside he's now the CEO of the company. At the time, he went from regional manager to becoming COO, and he and I were working alongside each other, helping, sales. I was doing a lot more administrative things. And then as we continued to grow, I worked my way up into leading the franchise development team for the last, I don't know, I think since 2013 in various roles. So and I got to meet many colleagues in franchising during that time as I made sure we had a face with the International Franchise Association. And it is really what led me to be in the position I'm in now at another health and wellness company. So I feel blessed to have had all the experience I did to be with one brand for a long time, and again, really just continue to grow and hone in on my skills at that brand, but also at a brand that I really was truly passionate about and still am, and to now be here. So.
Awesome. I always love those stories because every single person that's come on that has been, kind of working with one of our franchise partners. Their story, I've only had one person that their story didn't involve kind of accidental. I always say dumb luck. You said Saren something or another, but I'm not smart enough for that word, right? So, though I do remember, a cool movie in the 90s with John Cusack and that other girl, right? So, but everybody's got they just kind of fell into it, and then years later, decades later, whatever, here we are, and we're still going strong. So thank you. Thank you for that. And you're not even the first person to say they started working in a particular location and then it bolted them from, literally the most entry level thing into executive level roles. So I think that's also, but I don't want to go on my labor. People talk about labor shortage, and I hop on a soapbox about this, but because I think there's not so much a labor shortage as there is a leader shortage. If you can find good people and you give them a good place to work, they will still come to work. And if you can find talented people and give them a progression, who knows what they can do, and they can run with it like you did, just thinking it's just a job when you're in college, and now it's turned into your whole professional career. So super cool.
I think an important point though, because our CEO at Planet really, and again at the time he was the regional manager when I was working at the front desk, but he literally made all of us feel so important and so valued, and that we were accountable for our numbers. It's interesting. We didn't have this traditional gym role where we were, we benefited from membership sales. We were very opposite to many gyms in that way, in many ways, I should say, but we definitely, we were held accountable for how many people came into tour, how many people signed up, how many cancellations we got. And those numbers were tracked meticulously daily. So really one of the initial reasons why I wanted to stay was because I was getting I had a psychology degree and a business minor, but I was getting this business crash course, I felt like, from him. And really he's the reason I stayed, to continue to learn and grow. And I loved what I did too. I loved how we were changing people's lives. But, that's an important point, that I was there because of such great leadership and the ability to continue to grow, and the foresight that I had in our growth. No one would have seen where we were at there, where Planet Fitness is at today. But, I knew that there was this, there was clearly this trajectory for us to continue to grow exponentially. So that's an important point.
Well, and now you're on the kind of the front end of something new again, right? With the drip bars. So, tell us a little bit about, for those that aren't even remotely familiar with this concept, maybe just from as if we were consumers, what the heck does the drip bar do? What are the products or services that you offer?
Yes, so I'm glad you asked. So we are an IV vitamin infusion therapy lounge. What that means is we're bringing health straight to the cellular level. So all of those vitamins and minerals that our bodies need to, and our cells need to stay healthy, we're bringing them straight to the cellular level. So instead of taking it via supplements, having to go through your gastrointestinal tract and maybe not getting maximum absorbency, we're actually bringing that straight to the cellular level. So you get the purest form of what your body needs to perform and what your cells need to stay healthy. And this industry has been around for decades, and really, and kind of unfortunately, has gotten its growth on being a hangover cure. And that's really what a lot of our competition still focuses on. We certainly have that drip bag that'll help you if you've had a little too much to drink. It'll make you feel a lot better, but we don't lead with that. In fact, we had 18 different lifestyle drips that are focused on anything that might ail you, for someone who's in good health that's just looking for something to help with energy or brain fog. If you're getting on a plane, we have one called the Jet Setter that'll help you build your immune system. And we have this incredibly comprehensive list of drips that we have. And that's due very much to our incredible team that's helping to create those. We have a PharmD consultant who actually ensures that all of our drips are safe and effective for our clients and members. So we're very fortunate to have her to make sure that everything that we're creating is, again, it's safe and effective and the best that we can give our clients and customers. And then she sits alongside our national medical director, which is something that's required in this industry. And so we supply that from a national level, which makes us a bit unique in our industry. And they're working to create the safety protocols that we have. So we really have a higher level of standard than any other business in our industry.
And it's the range of different things that are offered, right? I mean, and you mentioned this. I think how it got started, and wishing that existed many years ago when I was in college, right? But the like, I always look at the one the jet setter one, right? It's kind of the immune and little jet lag thing, and then the allergy, probably the two. Just for me being selfish, I'm like the allergy thing. Living in, I go back and forth between Arizona and Florida, so allergies one place or the other, and then flying on a dang plane, right, all the time. So, but what if, not me, of course, I'm asking for a friend. What if somebody was a little, like, I don't know, not super thrilled with needles?
Well, I am actually that person, so I can speak from personal
I mean, I'm
experience.
not, Candace. I'm tough, right? It's not me. So I just, for anybody listening that might think that sounds cool, but I might pass out. What does that look like?
So that's a great question. And I can come at this from a very personal experience. So not only am I needle nervous, I'm someone who really didn't understand a lot about this business. So this kind of segues into my next, the other revenue drivers that we have in our business that make us sort of unique. But, it's certainly, there's something to be said. One, the needles we use are so small. They're nothing like even when you go and get blood taken. And, to me, it's not even that. I just can't watch this thing going in my arm. I still can't. I go into our locations and I feel so incredible. And it actually took me, when I started back, it was actually a year ago tomorrow that I started with the brand. And it took me a few months to go in and get it done. And I needed to actually do a little bit of research on it and really understand it. And, the more stories I heard, first of all, of the positive outcomes, but then again, just me, it's simply just a nervousness with needles. And so I just turned away, and I was told, and I literally, you feel nothing. And you have one of the things that I'll say, and anybody that I brought in, I brought my husband with me the second time. He comes with me every time I go. And I've brought other consultants as well that live in this area that have come with me to our locations and clients. And, I always get the same feedback, is that they felt so comfortable. And one of the things I love about how we operate is you walk into a DRIPBaR and it's this very, it's a comfortable but very sleek, modern aesthetic, but there's low music playing in the background, so it doesn't feel sterile at all. You just feel like you're in this place where you can either choose to sit in a lounge chair or sit in a chair, and then the nurse is with you, and they're talking to you the whole time. And so you always feel like you're the best place you could be, honestly. And then after your drip, you feel so good. There's a little bit because of the hydration, but then the marked differences that I feel are in my allergies, like you mentioned. My nose is never as clear as it is after my drip, and then my workouts are better. Everything is there's clearly a marked difference in again, just keeping ourselves in good working order. So, but the other things, I wanted to mention and differentiators that we have are for folks that might actually, or again, might be a needle averse. To getting them to come in. So one, we have additional services that we offer, like Botox, hydrofacial, red light therapy, infrared sauna, and halo salt therapy. And so they're all services that actually don't require a lot of additional space. So our spaces are about 1,000 to 1,500 square feet. You realistically could fit all of these in that space. And you could use some of our private rooms that we have for multiple different services. So we have an incredible layout. Again, simple business model, but sophisticated in that we have these other drivers of revenue. And again, they'll help to folks that use these services will try drips and vice versa. So that's why we pick the services that we do. One, there's not a lot of additional manpower needed, not a lot of additional operating expense. And again, they can fit within our business model. We also offer mobile concierge to bring drips to folks who might need it. So I am a former marathoner. Years ago, I wish I could say I still did. I was actually diagnosed with a heart, a large valve in my heart in 2016, and that ended my career of running, or long distance running anyway. But you know, so that's another reason why I'm very careful about anything that I put in my body. And again, one of the reasons why I honestly would not go to any other brand, because I know what level of safety protocols we operate under, and that I know everything that's going into my body. So, you know, but I could say, you know, that mobile concierge and being able to go to an event and like a race, or, you know, whether it be a sporting event, et cetera, and have this, it would be an incredible game changer. But
nice.
Additionally, we also have IM quick shots too. So if you're someone who's maybe a little bit needle nervous or wanting to get an introduction, we have an IM quick shot. So it's an intramuscular, is what IM stands for, quick shot to the glute or delt. So if you don't have 25 to 40 minutes to get a drip, which is about how long it takes, or you're needle nervous and you want to just start off with something, they're basically smaller dose versions of our lifestyle drips. So things like B12, glutathione, and others that help with energy, focus, and overall wellness. And then we also have health support drips. So this is why I say it's something that's personal to me. So things like high vitamin C that is actually given to cancer patients. It can help to reverse the side effects of chemotherapy, and also has been shown to shrink cancer cells. It's actually so powerful that there's a cancer clinic that's going to be opening up in Westbrook, Maine, where we currently have a standalone location, actually. And it's going to be the doctor that's opening up the Dana-Farber affiliated cancer clinic. And he felt so strongly in what we did and the benefits to his patients that he's putting us within his cancer clinic. And we think that's a huge win for us. It's a huge win for shifting this industry's focus on health and wellness. And so we're excited to see that come to fruition. And then hopefully that will help to, you know, introduce other partnerships like that with other doctors' offices, chiropractors, et cetera. And there are other non-medical, non-traditional opportunities we're looking at too. But a very exciting thing, another health support drip we have is chelation therapy. Chelation therapy is something, it's called calcium EDTA. And what it does is it actually chelates or takes out heavy metals from the body. It may also help to treat symptoms like heart disease, Alzheimer's, and autism. It's pretty incredible. There's a lot of studies that have been done on chelation therapy. One of the most recent being the TACT-2 trial. You can actually go to tact2.org and read about it. And we also have a fund of knowledge that we give to folks so they can help to understand it more. But I've had folks tell me about their kids with autism and giving them chelation therapy and how they did that instead of traditional medicine and how much it helped. And it's the stories I hear, it reminds me of being back to Planet Fitness when I hear stories from our members about how much their lives had changed. And, you know, it warms my heart, and it reminds me why I do what I do every day when I get to hear these stories. So it's pretty incredible. It's something that hasn't been as widely, you know, these studies are not as widely known as I feel like they should be. But honestly, they've sort of flown under the radar because we really, as a society in the US, have been focused on, I think I heard the term or read the term, a disease culture. So you have to, you know, go to the doctor and then they diagnose you with something and then they prescribe you with something to treat it, versus being focused on proactive or preventative healthcare, which is really, when you think about post the pandemic, especially, where the consumer focus has shifted, because there's just this, you know, I think there was a lot of fear and misinformation out of the pandemic that folks have really realized more than ever. Now I need to keep myself in the best health possible so that if something like COVID-19 comes, you know, is prevalent, that it's something that I'll be able to combat myself and not necessarily, you know, in other ways. So So yeah.
No, I think that's true. And I think we don't want COVID, but I don't want a cold, let alone anything else. Right. So and I think the cool thing about this is and I think even your experience in the fitness industry for a long time, and then now coming here, I feel like this is maybe where fitness was 20 years ago, right? Is we all have a better understanding of, we probably don't need, no offense to McDonald's, we don't need to eat McDonald's every single day, right? I should get off the couch and get some form of physical activity in a few times a week, if not more. Well, then are there other things that we can do? And I've not tried, in full disclosure, I've not tried the IV therapy yet, though there are a couple of them that I definitely want to try. I've done the infrared sauna before, and I mean, it was a night and day difference. Because I was kind of, in fact, my wife and I had gone on a cruise, and we came after the cruise, and we had like the cruise hangover, and not so much not really like the alcohol. I'm just like, oh my gosh, it was a lot and stuffy and just all of that. And we both did it and came out of there like, oh my gosh, like different people. So it's things like that as it gets more mainstream. Now coming in as an owner of the DRIPBaR, you are ahead of the curve. And again, really being able to make a difference in the community, which maybe not everybody really cares about, but I think most people would love to be able to have a business, control their lifestyle, and also help make a difference. This is definitely that. Hey everyone, I wanted to take a quick break from our podcast to tell you about our amazing friends at Entrepreneur. If you're looking to become a franchisee or simply learn more about business ownership, and guys, let's be honest, you're listening to the Franchising 101 podcast, so we know you have some interest in this. And I really encourage you to go to entrepreneur.com to check out all of their great content and resources. Seriously, Entrepreneur has everything, all the way from a bookstore to the best podcasts, webinars, and videos, plus information on upcoming events and the latest articles that seriously, they cover all aspects of franchising and business ownership. If you're having trouble deciding which franchise is right for you, start with Entrepreneur's renowned Franchise 500 ranking, which highlights the best franchises of 2022. For 45 years and counting now, Entrepreneur has been and continues to be the most widely recognized and respected authority in the franchise market. Digital and print subscriptions are available, so you never miss out on anything. So seriously, what are you waiting for? Go to entrepreneur.com right now and learn more. Talk to us a little bit about the owner and kind of maybe some things that you look for, maybe things that they are doing on a day. I'm guessing they're not sticking people with needles all day long. So talk a little bit about kind of what that ideal owner might look like for you guys.
Sure. So it can look a few different ways. It's a semi-absentee model. And just in talking to our franchise owners, so we are now at, just talk a little bit about how our business has grown. We started franchising in 2016. We started our business in 2016. We started franchising in 2019. My business partner, who's our CEO, was the client, and he had started his own franchise. And then went off and sold that and partnered with the original founder of the franchise. Well, in 2020, landlord's pretty slow to sign leases, as you can imagine. We opened our first location in 2021. We had 12 locations opened in 2021, and we're now at 30 open. We actually doubled our fleet in the first 6 months of this year, so have had a tremendous amount of growth and have over 500 units coming down the chute in the form of area development agreements, franchise agreements, or area rep commitments that we have. So a lot of growth ahead of us, but still a great enough time and opportunity to get into the system where there's still so much white space as well. And so, who is our ideal franchisee, or what does our franchisee's day look like? So we have folks that are franchisees of other brands. So we have some Orange Theory franchisees. We have other franchisees of other health and wellness brands. We have QSR franchisees, franchisors of other brands. We have folks that came from corporate America, whether it be from finance backgrounds, or we have someone that came from medical device sales, marketing, widely varied, but such an incredible entrepreneurial group of folks in our franchise system. But again, the one commonality, and I'd always say this even with Planet, is someone who can follow a franchise model. And then we have folks that are medical. So we have nurses and other doctors that came over to franchise with us. So, but they're not the majority. So I think that's the most important thing, especially where this is something that is considered medical, because you're administering these IVs. You don't need to have that background. We're going to help you find that nurse, and it's generally a registered nurse that's administering the IV. I know that generally our folks will have 3 to 5 employees per location. So again, as I mentioned, very simple business model. And we'll help you find those right folks. And a lot of folks have asked me, so has it been hard to find nurses? Interestingly, because of nurses, sort of this COVID exhaustion that's happening where nurses are leaving hospitals, that hasn't been a hard hire for us. In some states, you can actually have a paramedic. This may be ideal in some cases because paramedics are actually used to administering an IV in a high-stress situation. And this is not a high-stress situation. It is very comfortable, like I mentioned, but they're also really good at finding that vein. So that's one thing that's important. You want to get someone who knows.
Yeah, unless I'm sitting there, Candace, it might be a high stress if I'm the customer for the paramedic. But yeah, so for everybody else, pretty low stress, right?
No, we'd even calm you down. I guarantee you. Trust me, we'll have to go together sometime because we'd be the same. But yeah, so they're generally, I would say, working on their business and not in their business. We do have folks that spend time in their locations. There might be several partners, and one of them is focused on the operations. But for the most part, the focus is on understanding what's going on in the business. And I can actually say this from another very personal perspective. I'm going to be a franchisee myself. So I didn't mention that at the outset of the call, but thank you. Thank you. We actually have lease in hand. So we are, my husband and I looked at several franchises before I came on board with DRIP actually. And after evaluating them and just deciding that they weren't the right fit for one reason or another, we decided to jump on board here. So I'm excited to say that I'll also be sitting on that side and will be a semi-absentee or owner, because I'm here doing this. My husband's actually in business banking and works right in the city that we'll be opening in. But so it's very, very much you're able to do that. But really, the best franchisees, as I said, to always know what's going on in their business. It's not a set it and forget it, and you just don't. You're not under. You have to know what's going on, but you don't have to be in it day to day. You can hire some great staff, and we'll help you do that. That will be able to ensure that there are your eyes and ears on the ground if you can't be there.
Nice. Well, good. No, and from a semi-absentee space, and we don't have to dive into anything financial for this, but this is a low level investment for anything that has 1,500 square feet. Simple build out, easy and simple for me. You're the one going through it now as a franchise owner, right? So it's but relatively speaking, it's very simplistic, easy to scale. You've talked about your owners semi-absentee, that diversification, multiple locations. Maybe it's even part of them having multiple brands. So, and then again, staff-wise is small, plus the help that you're going to get from the franchise. Don't freak out if you've never had to hire a registered nurse for your business before. I'm going to go out on a limb and say pretty much everybody coming into DRIPBaR as an owner is the same thing. You've got that kind of franchisor support there for you, right? So all super cool things. Where do you mind telling us where's yours going to be? You're way northeast, right?
Sure, I am. Yes, we're in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Okay, well,
so right here on the little sea coast of New Hampshire, if you're familiar with it.
So that's one of like 7 states I've never been to. So when you when you open up, we'll fly up there and you can have somebody hold my hand, give me an IV. So we'll do it.
Deal. I'm going to hold you to that. You said it on. You're now recorded saying it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll have our editor go back and cut that out. So, you talk about I think the other thing that's cool about franchising, that ask that initial question of what your story is, but how people get into it, however they get started, whether it's you're working for a franchisor, you're doing something like we do here. If you start out as a franchise owner, you don't leave. Like franchising is like the mob. Once you're in, you don't get out. And then you'll see people just kind of spread out. Work for a franchise and you own a franchise. You do what I do and you work for a franchise, or we own a couple of franchise locations as well. And that from that semi-absentee model, yes, you got to pay attention to it. Yes, something's going to go wrong. You got to jump in. We woke up this morning with air conditioning unit at our location in Orlando, Florida, not working. You kind of need the air conditioning to work in Orlando, Florida, right? So,
Yes.
so you have to be paying attention to it, but to have something where you can really grow pretty easily and expand, have all kinds of scalability, still at that semi-absentee space is pretty awesome. So, very cool. And I know I'm going to ask you a loaded question because I want to be mildly respectful of your time. And I know there's a million more things we could talk about with the DRIPBaR, but what would be maybe one other thing you'd really want us to know and kind of share with us about the DRIPBaR that we haven't talked about yet?
Sure. So, I would say one of the things that makes us the most unique in this industry, which is a booming industry right now, as I mentioned, the focus on health and wellness, it's never going to go away. It is, especially post-pandemic, as I mentioned, folks are paying attention to their health and, taking healthcare into their own hands, which is incredible. That's what we want. And that's what, that's what we as a society should want, is that we're all going to be a healthier culture, and not need to go to the doctors unless it's anything for a checkup. But the one thing that makes us unique particularly is that, again, we operate under the highest safety protocols that we can, and we've never compromised that in the beginnings of our business. Again, we were founded by a nurse, and when we partnered alongside her, it was, okay, we're going to operate in this certain way and not compromise anything. And so we're actually the only 797 compliant brand that's operating right now in our industry. And what that means is we actually we have a hood in which we mix all of our drips. So this is another thing that makes us unique. So when someone comes in and they order, or they might have already signed up for what drip that they want, they're going to come in and we're actually making that for them when they come into the DRIPBaR. So that's unique in that usually you go into a brand, and several other brands might have other focuses, but they might offer these drips. They're going to be pre-mixed and sitting in a bag, and maybe lose it and sitting on a shelf or in a fridge and losing their potency or efficacy. And we're actually making these live when someone comes in. So they're getting the purest dose of what we're offering them. And additionally, we have the ability to offer them additions to those drip bags. So as an example, my favorite one happens to be our debut. It is as simple as vitamin C, B12, B complex, and magnesium. And again, like I said, we have an allergy drip. This one has maybe a smaller dose version of what's in that, but I do feel incredible after. And if I wanted to say, I want to help fight free radicals, or, I'm looking for something to help my skin, glutathione is something that can do those things. I could add glutathione to my diet. So as an example, you can have these add-ins that you add. So we're able to cater to what the client want, and the nurse can say, what are you looking for, and help the client decide what they may want to choose. So we have the ability, it's I guess from a revenue perspective, there's an ability to gain revenue there. There's also an ability to make sure that your clients and members have everything that they want. And so, that what I would say be the most paramount thing in this model and in this industry that's growing so rapidly and is eventually going to be more regulated than it is today. The fact that we've never compromised on that and continue to operate under these highest safety protocols is what makes us unique. It's what makes us, and again, as we've talked about, being needle nervous, one of the things that makes me, I trust our nurses so much. I trust our brand, but I don't think I'd go to any other any other brand or business out there. So just for that simple reason. But so that's a little bit about us. And
I love it. You're very much ahead of the curve in pretty much all aspects of this industry, which just means position for just fantastic growth for the franchisor and then for all of your franchisees, current or future, including yourself. So, and by the way, no pressure, but 2023, you should be Rookie of the Year franchisee, right?
Yes.
We got that prediction on record. Okay, we got that prediction on record as well. So tune back in January of 2024 to see how Candace did on her first location. So, Candace, this is awesome. I really appreciate you coming on and talking with us about the Drip Bar today. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I love talking about it, so I'll come on anytime.
Awesome. Well, when you get yours open, let's talk. Maybe we can get a full tour and everything. So, thank you for doing so today. And as always, for all of our fantastic loyal podcast listeners, we hope the Franchising 101 series continues to provide insight into the amazing possibilities that can be achieved in franchising. If you'd like to learn more about becoming a franchise owner of the Drip Bar or any of our other 600 plus franchises, reach out to us, FranCoach.net, franchising101podcast.net. Send us a message. There is never, ever any fee for our service. So reach out today. Take that first step toward creating your better tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll talk with you soon.
Thanks for listening to FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast, where our ultimate goal is to help educate you on all things franchising so you can create your better tomorrow.